remember all of it.
Yeah, awesome. And I just wanted to say that if at the end of this conversation, I feel that there's a way that I could maybe support you, we could set up another call that's more focused on that. I want to be super respectful of your time today. And I told you 15 minutes. So I'm going to stick to that. So what I really wanted to kind of ask you, you're a business owner, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm in the mortgage industry. I have a financial services business. I have a student loan elimination business, and then I have a networking event that's kind of exploded through COVID. So yes, I'm a busy girl, but that's how you get stuff done, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what I was going to say. So you're probably busy. Your life is probably very busy. Yeah. As most women's are that own businesses. So when it comes to really taking care of yourself and your health, and I know health is so much more than movement and exercise and nutrition. It really is feeling well physically, mentally, spiritually, and taking care of yourself as a whole being. Where do you feel challenged when it comes to making that a priority in the busyness of your life?
You know, when I made the commitment to work out every day with a trainer, how I feel most grounded is I have my prayer time every morning. I start my day with the Lord. And so that has been a big challenge of being at the gym at 6 a.m., being back home by about 7:15, and then needing to get my time with the Lord and then starting my day. But my day sometimes can start pretty early. And I don't ever want to edge God out. So that is always a challenge because I have to have my spiritual and my physical together. And I'm making it work. You know, sometimes I'm spending my time with God at night. Like, I'm not going to let that slip. You know, that's a really important piece for me, because if I don't spend time piping into my spiritual, I'm no earthly good. So that one it's very difficult to give back when your cup is empty. So that's how I fill my cup, is I start my day where I put myself first. By 7 a.m., I've put in a really hard hour at the gym. And then, you know, I'm checking in, God, I want you to, you know, will you please support me in bringing the right people into my life, bringing the people that can afford me, people that want my service, need me, people that I can bless, because that's really important. I only want to bless people. So, you know, and in doing so, it's made my businesses thrive because I'm checking in first.
I love that. So you've created some really non-negotiables in your days, and sometimes they don't happen when you would like them to, but you find a way to make it happen.
That's right.
So there's a lot of, I think you've created flexibility. And I think often women, we have this black or white thinking, this all or nothing. And it's, oh, if I can't do it, if it doesn't look this way, then it's just not worth doing it. Did you have that at one point and you've found that, okay, if I can allow myself some flexibility, I can still get in the things that I know I need to fill my own cup?
Well, it's funny that you bring that up, because my company is called And I named it And because people have this thing where I can do this or that. And I say, no, you don't. You can have this and that. You live in and, not or, for more. That's my tagline for my company. And I coach that and I teach that. I learned that. I went through a leadership program years ago when my mortgage company, I had at the time 85 loan officers. I had 15 people on staff to support them. I had 3 small children, and my life was nuts. And I really didn't understand that I controlled my own calendar, and every day I can make adjustments, and I say how my calendar grows or goes or grows, or I can do this and that. So it's a series of negotiations. So if I can't do it at 11:15, or 2, if I'm going to be late, you know, calling and negotiating with somebody, hey, can I renegotiate for 10 more minutes? That is just being respectful and knowing I'm still in control of my calendar. I don't have to feel bad about myself if I'm running late. You know, life happens, but just renegotiate that. But there's always an and. It's not an or. Unless you're married, you don't get to have your husband and your boyfriend. That's not how that works. That's not the case of an aunt.
I love that. I love that you said negotiations, that it's a series of negotiations. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In business, it's always like that. I'll put together some pretty large deals. And when you're dealing with a lot of money and you've got several people, like the investor, people that need the money, and the investor wants this, and the people, it's a series of negotiations until the deal is locked down. And why can't everyday life be like that? I remember when my kids were younger, they'd say, I just really get mad, Mom, that you put me on your calendar. Like I have to be calendared in. And I'm like, okay, that's not a bad thing. You're my priority. That's why you are calendared. I'm making you have a place in my life that's so important that you're on the calendar. If you weren't on the calendar, I have to live my life by that, because I want to keep my word to people. And I tell you, we're going to go do something that is, I let people know I have an appointment with my kids tonight. Like that's priority. We're having dinner. They're teenagers now. So, negotiating with them is like really, really important, because they, if given their own way, we would never hang out.
Yeah, I have
teenagers really quick
too.
When they get to be teenagers, I'm like, no, we're gonna hang out. Sorry.
Yeah. I love that you said that you put them in your calendar, and that you said you're in my calendar because you are a priority, because you're right. When we say, I'm going to find time for you, like with your spouse, or we're going to find time for date night, you won't ever find the time if you don't make it a priority and create the time for it.
Yeah, you create it. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah. And you mentioned earlier, so you said that you make yourself a priority first thing in the morning, that time, that space is for you, because you can't pour from an empty cup. A lot of women that don't have that figured out yet. And it sounds like there was a point in time where you didn't have that.
Yeah, I would say that definitely was true, because it was really going to be a compromise of having sleep. I went through a period where, when I was first building my financial business, I had 156 agents that were working for me, and I was training them. And when you're training new agents, you have to often run their appointments for them. So what was happening is I was running like 11 money appointments a day, and each appointment is at least an hour long. So that tells you, just in appointments, I was running 11 hours. And then beyond that, the prep time and drive time to get it. So I had no life. And I found that when I was not able to do yoga or whatever it was, because I had been consistently doing yoga, I got so miserable so fast. But I gave up working out, because it was a matter of, I'm not going to have any sleep. So over time, I had to make the choice that, I lived that way for a year, and it was not working. I'm like, if I'm doing this for a year and I'm not getting results, I have to change it. And so I understand women that go through that. And I had other women at that same company that lived on 3 and 4 hours of sleep and did it for years. And I'm like, I'm not willing to do that. I have to be able to, I also want to have a life that's quality. A lot of people talk about work-life balance. I think that some of the most successful people I've ever met, especially men, they will say there is no such thing as work-life balance. You choose what you choose, and you deal with the consequences. And there's a lot of truth to that. Sometimes it looks like a marriage being split up, a divorce or whatever. Right now, as a single person, I am choosing to have a quality life, time with my children. Eventually I will, I guess, create time to date, if that's what that looks like. But right now I'm having so much fun with my life, but I created the life that I have right now. I have learned how to build my business successfully without having to kill myself with all the hours. But that was a process of, and I thought that I had to have a big company and lots of loan officers or lots of life insurance agents working underneath me. And I I've come to learn that that's just more time that's not necessarily making me money, you know, because oftentimes in a really busy working world, we find that not everybody has the same work ethic. So if they don't want to work as hard as I do, but yet I'm pouring in my precious time into them and they're not being fruitful, it's time to just say, you know, this isn't working. You know, I'm going to focus on me now.
So it was a learning process for you, trial and error, and finding yourself not feeling great in your life, not feeling you weren't thriving in life, and saying, okay, something has to change. Mm-hmm. So what advice would you give to women that are maybe where you were back then, that are still just working around the clock? They're not prioritizing themselves. They aren't scheduling themselves into their own calendar.
I've learned that you have to say no to the wrong thing so you can say yes to the right thing. So there's bigger things like especially when it comes to my day, what I'm prioritizing, I have to prioritize the money things. So if today I only get through 3 things, it better be something that pushes the business forward, that makes the money. Okay. Or it's something that's moving my business forward. In your personal life, you've got to do the same thing, where I have learned to prioritize, like, my spiritual life is first and my physical life is second, even though I have an appointment with my trainer every morning at 6 a.m. I'm not going to compromise that. So with young women or women that are coming up with kids, sometimes those kids, they come first no matter what, but it's like, no matter what, you have to find time in your day to fill your cup, period. So I have learned that when I don't do that, life becomes really not happy. It's unhappiness. That's how I define unhappiness. And I can't be a good mom and I can't be a good business owner or any of those things if I'm not piped in. Like, I've got to be clear, like my brain's got to be clear, and I've got to be willing, able to give, period. And if I can't give, if I'm empty.
100%. Yeah. You're not showing up as the best version of you and whatever it is, parenting, your relationships, your career, if you aren't taking care of yourself. And I know different phases of life are different. My kids are older, they're teenagers now too. So we have more time. It looks different. And I know when kids are younger, there's not as much flexibility, and it's taking the time that you do have. So it might look different, and maybe you don't have as much time, but again, it comes back to it doesn't need to be black or white. 5 minutes of taking time to fill your own cup, to feed your spiritual growth, your physical growth, is better than nothing.
Well, and two, it really, when it comes to kids, we have to set boundaries with them. And I cannot remember the guy that I follow on YouTube, but he said that, he, like me, he would spend like an hour a day meditating, and his kids knew that when he went in to do his meditation time, that was his time, and they didn't interrupt him. He had a set time of every day, and they did not interrupt him. And that was the rule. And they were little, but he said what they did know is they actually liked him to go into meditation because he would come out much happier. So they got a really good version of their dad if they gave him the time that he needed. And that's just communicating. Even small children understand that. Hey, you know how you like to go to, play at the jungle gym or whatever? This is mom's version of a jungle gym. Like, I'm going to have my time so I can be a better mom to you. Like, kids understand it. Just explain it to them, but there has to be strong boundaries of mom's got to take care of herself too, and kids will understand it if they're communicated well with,
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I love that. And you're teaching your kids how to also set boundaries for themselves. So now they're not growing up thinking they need to sacrifice everything for everyone else.
Yeah, you don't get to be a doormat just because you're a mom.
Yeah. Yes. I love that. Thank you so much. I know it's 11:16, so that was really the last thing I wanted to ask you, and was the advice you would give. And so I appreciate you sharing that with me and sharing a little bit of your story with me.
Sure.
And I love.
Well, if you ever know, like if anybody, you know, I do some coaching and speaking on this kind of stuff when people need me to. So if you ever, you know, need support with that or whatever, I'm happy to help you in that area.
Yes, I would appreciate that. And your networking event, and however I can support you as well.
Do you want to come to that?
What is it?
So I have, we started it during COVID. It's called Speakeasy Networking. So when we were asked to shut down, I'm like, no, we're not you don't shut down your business that you've worked on for 30 years. I'm sorry. So a couple of friends of mine who are also business owners said, Sin, you know, could we get together and get a bunch of business people and do networking at your house? You've got the big house. And I said, sure, let's do it. So in the middle of COVID, everybody was locking themselves down and putting masks on their face. We were like, nope, you don't wear masks here, and everybody gets to come and you're welcome. And we started with 18 business owners, and we are now up to about 70 business owners that come to my home once a month. When we started this, we kept 3 business owners from filing bankruptcy. We've had 2 startups. We're now starting a Summerlin speakeasy. People are grateful, and they would say, thank you, I feel normal. We get to come in here and it's like normal here. I'm like, yeah, because we're the people that don't get to file for unemployment, and we're, you know, you don't just shut down your business. I'm sorry, Steve Sisolak. You've never owned a business, so you don't know what this is like. But I'm not going to take 30 years and throw it down the toilet just because you tell me to. Sorry. Yeah. So we all were very like-minded, very like, hey, what are we going to do to stay afloat during this? And I've been just standing for Nevadans and Las Vegas people, and like, how can we help your business? So I appreciate that you saying that. So if you want to come and meet people, people come in and get business right away, and some people it takes them a little bit longer. Most of my clients, I invited all my clients that were business owners, but you know, we're always getting new business. So whatever that looks like for you, I don't know if you're just an author, but we all know somebody that's a struggling business owner that needs support. And that's what I would always say when we all get together. I say to them, please tell us what you need from the group. What do you need right now this month that's going to help you with your business? Tell us, because there's 70 of us. And oftentimes I would have people say, I'm embarrassed, I don't want to come to the event, I'm not a business owner, I'm looking for work. And I'm like, great, there's 70 business owners, let's get you a job. And instantly they got hired that night. So I'm like, why would you limit yourself because you're not a business owner? This is what this is for. We're here as a collective to support one another. So whatever, you know, you can come, bring somebody, you know, food and alcohol sponsored.
Yeah, share the information with me. I know a lot of small business owners in my world that, if I can come, I would love to. And if I could bring someone, and in any other way that I can support you in your business, because I agree, it's all about supporting each other and supporting other women.
Well, we're on social media. We're on Instagram, right? You and I? Is that how we met?
Facebook.
Okay.
I can look. Are you on? Is the group on Facebook?
Yeah. I'm on Facebook. Well, I have a website. Are we official? I don't think our website is official. The Speakeasy Networking website. That's being worked on right now. But if you want to give me your cell number, I will invite you. So, Andrea, H-A-U. Hello. Hi, this is Yuli. I'm hiding behind you. This is the genius. This is the one that's just kicking my social media to the next level. He's a mad scientist. I'm not lying. Like,
he's back there doing all the hard work.
Facebook followers in 5 days. I'm like, oh, crazy. Andrea, what's your cell?
It's 801-243-0155.
Okay, so the event, I'll send you a text.
Okay.
The event is April 5th. It's always the first Tuesday of every month.
Okay.
So I'll put you in my phone right now. And then once you go in my phone, you get an automatic invite. And then feel free to come. But yeah, anytime you mention me on social media, that helps me.
Okay.
So I appreciate that. We're doing my podcast and then we're going to go out and shoot some videos today.
Awesome. Hopefully the wind dies down if you're going to be outside.
No. I'm in business suits and stuff.
Okay.
We're not doing it
It's a
outside.
little.
I just got over allergies, so I'm like, I'm not trying to do that.
Yeah.
No more. Okay, so who has? I'm trying to find somebody that I don't talk to a whole bunch. Oh, not her yet. All right, Miss Andrea, it's coming over now.
Okay, awesome.
Spell your name right. Okay. So it kind of, it puts, it's my address, it's the time, everything's in there. We don't expect you to bring anything. We now have gotten so big that the food and alcohol is sponsored. So Trish Nash is running for office. She'll be sponsoring this next event with Mira Cordair of the Purple Chandelier. So everybody asks if they can sponsor, because I give sponsors more time to talk about their business at the event.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's so awesome that you did that. And yeah, I appreciate it. Again, thank you for taking time out of your day too. I'll let you go. I know it's 11:23, so I appreciate it.
No worries. Have an awesome day. Thank you.
Thanks. You too, Cindy.
Okay, bye.